Hello! Welcome to Anime Mystics. I'm Roman, and tonight I am watching Hinamatsuri Episode 7. So, last episode, we had two different stories. The first part of the episode dealt with Nita and Hina going to visit his family. I think they just wanted him to come visit. I kind of forget why. I think it's because they heard he was taking care of Hina or something? Possibly. But I can't remember exactly. Either way, he brings her along, and they have come up with a story to tell his family on why he's taking care of her. Which probably means that that's the reason why they called. Anyway, the story they were telling was that a friend of his, basically the whole family was killed. Her mother and father, and since he knew her dad, he decided to take her in and take care of her. And he gave her a line to say, but I'm not going to remember what it is. But anytime they would ask her questions about, like, how she felt about it, or how she's feeling, and if she's okay, and stuff like that, she would just repeat the same line over and over again. And he would have to try to fill in the answer for, whatever they were asking. Basically, she is no good at, what do you call it? Improvising. She's no good at improvising. She has no idea what to say. So he decided that he was going to just answer any questions that they had, and she could just do whatever. So basically, the two family members that are there are his mother and his sister. His sister's really funny. But they found her story really sad, and they were pretty proud of him for taking her in. But the story didn't last. They went outside to play with some, I think it was fireworks, and he saw how hard she was trying to think of something, because they were asking her another question when he wasn't there, and she was trying to come up with something, but she couldn't. And he felt kind of proud of her, that she was at least, that she was trying that hard to come up with something. And so he went over and told them that she's his daughter, not a friend who he's taking care of. She is his daughter. And they were a little like, how did this happen, and a few other questions, and he's just like, I forget what he says. He didn't really answer any questions, but they decided, whatever, let's just celebrate the Hina joining the family. So they decide to have a feast, which, not a huge feast, but they had food and alcohol. She obviously didn't have any, but they had alcohol. And then he goes over to his, grandfather's or father's shrine, and, starts telling him about, Hina and how she's a part of the family now. And then he calls her over to say something, and she's like, I don't know what to say. And that's where that one ended. The second half, and I don't know why they always do this with Anzu. I think that's her name. Yeah, I don't know why they always do this with Anzu, but it was another sad episode. Apparently, the homeless people that she stays with were being kicked out of the park they were living in, and they all needed to move on. They had already known this was going to happen, so they had already talked to Utako, to see if they could find Anzu a place to live, and she was able to. She found a family that would take her in. But she was determined to try to get their home, saved, because she didn't want them to leave. She didn't want to split up from them. But there was really nothing they could do. She was saying to protest with the other people, but they're like, but that would expose us, and then they would probably just arrest them or something. And it wasn't a good time for her. So when the day came that they all had to leave, she went with Utako to the new family that she's staying with. It's this couple, older couple. They run a restaurant, and she's still kind of, even though she's staying with them, she still kind of follows what she had learned, that she should work and pay for the food that she's getting, even though she doesn't have to because she's staying with these people now. But she still has it in her mind that she has to do that. And they end up going to sleep, and in the morning when she wakes up, she goes out to the front because they're getting ready to open their shop, and she's wondering what's going on because she doesn't know that they run a restaurant. And he explains, we're about to open the restaurant and stuff like that. And she says she wants to work. She wants to work with them at the restaurant. And the woman was kind of against it, but it didn't take a whole lot to convince her to, let her. There's really no reason to keep her from working if she wants to, but, the guy didn't have a problem with it. Like I said, the woman, she kind of did, but not too bad. Again, it wasn't too hard to convince her. And then he basically tells her after, because he asks if it's something that she learned from, I can't remember the specific guy, what his name was, but the one that brought her into the homeless area. Something that he taught her, and she says, yeah. And then he starts going on about how, you'll never truly be away from them because you're always going to have the memories and everything that you have from spending all that time with them and all the lessons they taught her. So even though they're not technically together, they'll always be there, inside. So yeah, that's where that ended, where she is getting ready to go to work. So I don't know where this is going to pick up. So let's just get into this and see what is going to happen. Hopefully it's not another depressing episode. Alright. So the video is going to be located over here, and the link to the reaction is going to be in the description down below. Let's turn this up. There we go. Alright, and we're going to start this episode in 3, 2, 1.